What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel and Dad, Garrett Morlang. And here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and resident superstar, Adrian Holmes. What's up, Adrian?
Evening, fellas. How we doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Fantastic.
So I just want to say, the resident superstar might not stick with you for long. You were throwing some heat out there on Twitter, saying that you're going to beat anyone up in Mario Party. I don't know, just saying we might need to. Throw
I have a track record
and...
of this. It's right there. I mean, people can just go and look at the past streams and check my W's right there. All right. On average. Not to mention, real man's Mario Party is on its way to Nintendo Switch Online. All right. This is no excuses. This is no bug fixes. This is no anything like that. This is unfiltered, straight up 100% Mario Party. This is the one that makes men out of boys. So you better be ready. You got to bring your A game with those.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And also joining us tonight, not JJ, but a fantastic guest. We haven't had a guest in a long time, so I'm really excited about this. We have, this is a new nickname just special for tonight, the Gotham Knight, Nate Fletcher. What's up, Nate?
What's up? I'd actually appreciate it if we kept that as my nickname for a long time.
Okay, yeah, we can keep that.
I want to be the most positive thing representing that name this week.
Yes, that's right. We have special guest Nate Fletcher, aka Boba Fletch. You've known him, probably heard him on the past on our show, and way back in the day doing some fun streams together. And he's going to join us tonight to kind of share his thoughts on Gotham Knight. He's actually played the game, unlike myself.
Paid for it. I actually paid for the game.
He actually paid for the game, too.
Braver than me, my good man.
Yeah. Oh, man. How are you doing tonight, Nate? How you hanging out? Just
doing fantastic. Last night, I was hanging out with a few buds, and we were throwing down on some Quiplash.
Oh, such a good game.
And I think I've bought that game probably 3 or 4 times on different platforms for whoever you're around. And it's probably one of the best video game experiences of all time, especially if you're progressively consuming alcoholic beverages as the night goes on. You're in for a good time. By the end of the night, we were just basically forcing each other to go, quote unquote, balls to the wall. Highly recommend some good quiplashing. That's what I've been up to lately.
So good. Quiplash. All the Jackbox games. I'm the same way with, we like the Jackbox games are always on sale. And yeah, you go over to someone's house, you're like, I don't have my PlayStation, I only have my Switch. Okay, I'll buy it on there. And then I'm like home and in my office, I'm like, well, I guess I can get on Steam to play online with friends. And you own them all like 6 different ways. But
thankfully I found out they actually have a pack of like the essentials now. So that's what I ended up getting on my Switch last night. So nice. It was a blast.
Cool beans. Well, today we're going to be talking about the huge Silent Hill announcements, some Gotham Knights review roundup here, and our own kind of review. You put a few hours into it, so I feel like it's fair to give your thoughts on it. And the Platinum Games doubles down on the voice actor controversy, as well as new breaking news today. The Hellena Taylor also is doubling down as well and defending herself through kind of some crazy tweets. So we'll talk about more of that later. First, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumple Smash, Eddie Martin, and Kajoma01, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates and Mama Mare. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us over there, just starting at just $1 a month. You can get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, as well as Super Gamer Book Club hosted by Adrian. It's a fantastic show. The new episode up this month, or I guess technically it was last month's 2064 Read-Only Memories. It was a fantastic game. Really fun time talking about that. So go check that episode out. If you're on the fence about supporting us and want to kind of check out previous episodes, we do have a free feed. You can catch that. And right now, Star Wars Republic Commando is up, where Adrian and I just kind of just destroy this classic game. This game that we all kind of look back with for those of us who even remember it, these rose-colored glasses, and it was really eye-opening to play it and be like, oh.
I was getting ready to say one of the most like clear examples of I remember this being so much better.
Yes. And coming this Friday, I guess, the last Friday of the month here, we are going to be recording this week Luigi's Mansion with Connor McCabe from Call Me By Your Game. I'm stoked for that one. That was such a fun game to jump back into. It's going to be a blast to chat with you guys about that, especially Connor. He's always a fun guest to have on our shows. So we'll talk more about our Patreon later on in the show. Real quick, shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. Here in the background, you hear it. So go show them some support and listen to them on Spotify and Apple Music. Links to that are in the show description below. Now, it is time to check the mail. All right. Anything? You know what? Again,
what?
JJ was supposed to bring it this week, huh? And here he is, just flaked on us again. Or was it my responsibility and you guys didn't tell me last week?
No.
I knew you guys threw a lot of shade towards me last week. You guys forget that I edit the show and hear a lot of the trash.
I don't know
you
what
say
you're
about
talking
me.
about.
Apparently, someone called me a Nazi. Is that correct?
I have no recollection of anything that happened last week.
Or at least I attended some sort of Nazi rally. I don't know. That is not correct. I want to put it on the record. I was not anywhere near any Nazi that I know of.
I was just hosting the show, okay? And look, I'm not throwing JJ under the bus. I just legitimately, until you said that, I forgot that he made that joke.
Here's what happens when you set up the Patreon and the Apple Podcast and the Spotify. Sometimes the words get mixed up when it gets out. There you go.
Maybe it was in your recording.
Yeah, it was the version you're listening to. If you're at the $10 a month tier, that's not in there. So
maybe JJ said, I did not see that coming, and you heard something else. Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe I need to get some new headphones then. My headphones were shorting out or something like that. So all right, you're off the hook then. Well, I'll go ahead and just read these questions then off the digital mailbag here, since I don't have the physical one in my hand. But this first question comes from Sir Prince-A-Lot. And I don't know, maybe this is just another ad or something, since he happens to be the DM of this show. But he says, what's a good excuse for someone to not be listening to Super Dungeon Boys? And my answer to that right away is there is no good excuse, because you all should be listening to that.
I was going to say, if you're lame, that would be a good excuse.
Yeah, that's about the only.
And don't like adventure.
For those of you who don't know, we have been releasing a D&D podcast all month for Spooky Gamer Boys, coming out every Saturday. I think we're up to episode 4 now. If you support us on Patreon, you get those a week early as well, so you can be listening to episode 5 right now. It was such a blast to record, and it's been fun to edit. It's a lot of work to edit, but by the end, I'm like, oh man, so fun putting all the music and sound effects and re-listening to some of like the just crazy stuff JJ said playing D&D. So
basically, if you're not a fan of thrills or chills and or heart racing action and emotional finales, we'll say, you don't need to apply. Don't even worry about it. Those are the kind of people that would not be watching or listening to Super Dungeon Boys. All right.
Exactly. So, and it is its own separate feed. As I had someone ask me the other day, he's like, I thought only one episode came out. It's because I released the first one on the main feed, but I didn't want to keep spamming it in case not everyone wants to listen to it. And I put in the show description. Obviously, no one reads it, but go to search for Super Dungeon Boys everywhere. It's there. You can go listen to it. All right, let's get into the next real question. Eddie Martin asks, I want to hear your Mount Rushmore of horror films. All right, so you guys have your top 4.
I got them.
You got them. All right, give them to me.
All right, let me preface this. By saying I'm not a horror movie buff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I am buff, but I'm not a horror movie buff.
Okay.
So I'm gonna rattle off my top 4. if you need clarifications, I'll give them, but these all go without saying. Get Out, my number one.
Okay.
Seen it 3 times. I love it. Every time I watch it, I love it more. Remember, I said I'm not a horror movie guy, but Alien, the first one, absolute banger of a film. One of the most stylistically timeless movies you'll ever see. If you haven't seen it, it holds up. It will always hold up. It's impossible for it not to.
Please do yourself a favor.
Number 3, Shaun of the Dead. Not super horror-y, but I love it.
Okay, horror elements. I'll give it.
Yeah.
And I was reaching here, boys. I was reaching. All right, and the 4th one. And if you've seen the movie, from the age of 4 years old to 9, you're gonna agree. But Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yep, that's one of the worst movies you'll ever see as a child.
I was gonna say,
show it to your children, you're going to pay for their therapy later. And if you look it up, just look up Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Kidnapper, and get ready.
I don't think I will.
No, I'm good.
I don't think I will.
That's like me with like James and the Giant Peach, like looking back at that. Tim Burton's
God,
like that still like gives me nightmares. Like I've never watched it as an adult. It's probably like completely harmless, but as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying.
Dude, I went into my parents' room that night. It was one of those movies where you're just like, I'm gonna skip the sleeping because I know there's a nightmare on the other end. So I'm just gonna go straight to my parents' bedroom on this one.
No.
But the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Kidnapper.
Dude, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So for me, I know people are gonna be like, well, these aren't even good movies, but you know what? These are fun movies. I like these horror movies a lot. So, and to be honest, unfortunately, have not seen a lot of the classics, like a lot of the ones that people will be like, oh, this is like pinnacle horror. Fortunately, I've not been able to watch them yet. Obviously, still hoping to work on that. But I also had Alien on my list. Fantastic movie. I had Saw.
Which one? The first one?
I like the first one. I think
I've only seen the first one. Yeah.
I've seen them all, unfortunately.
I think you can stop after 3.
For some sick reason, I did a marathon of all of them in like 2 days. Boy,
You're a maniac.
For a while, I was not all right. So the first Saw, I think, is fantastic. My third one, I guess these are in no particular order. I'm not saying like Alien's number 1, although I think it definitely is. My third just pick here, Insidious. I really enjoyed Insidious. I thought that was fantastic.
The first one?
I actually never seen the second one. The first one I really loved. For me, it was honestly between Insidious or Paranormal Activity. Like those two it was hard for me to decide, but I went with Insidious. And then my fourth one it's more of a creepy movie. I feel like it's not necessarily like totally horror, but I love it. It's directed, I think it's directed by Guillermo del Toro, or at least written by him or something. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. And it is about basically like tooth fairies, but like the actual like fairy tale version of tooth fairies, where they're just like these little demons in this house and like attacking this family. And it is absolutely it's not like the most horrific thing you've seen, but oh man, it has a few good scares, and this is so creepy. I love it. And I love anything Guillermo del Toro. I think he does great stuff. Pan's Labyrinth is up there. So good. So
all-time great director. Well, I guess Alien's gonna be on all of our lists.
That's fine.
I feel like
That's
that goes
totally
without
fine.
saying. Yeah. This one might be a little bit of recency bias, but I don't care. I thought Hereditary was phenomenal. I thought it was terrifying in the best way, especially when you go back and you see stuff in it that you didn't catch the first time that makes it even scarier. I really dug that one. This one is an old school pick from when we were maybe teenagers, I think, when it came out. or maybe like, you know, younger, Jeepers Creepers.
I almost had that on my list too. It didn't make it. Jeepers Creepers so good.
Jeepers Creepers is, oh my
terrifying. Goodness. At least, yeah. As a teenager when it came out, I was like, oh, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Which Nightmare on Elm Street is it? When the girl gets sunk into the bed, and then all you see is that like fountain of blood come up out of there.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's 3, isn't it?
These are some of the classics that
it's 3.
I've missed. But.
It's 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, yeah.
Well, whichever Nightmare on Elm Street that is, I never forgot that. It was terrifying.
This sounds terrifying. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I so badly want to catch up on a lot of those classic ones, like those, like, because, I mean, I don't know, it's one of those like that, like Nightmare on Elm Street, like there's all those Friday the 13th movies, like there's just so many in those series that I feel like I've either seen like just bits and pieces of, or like one movie from the series. Like I need to go through and watch all those like those classic horror movies because they're so good, even if they're campy or cheesy. Fantastic. All right. This last question comes. What's the first one? Are you Googling it?
Sorry, go ahead. No,
yeah, you figure it out. Penguin90 asks, what is the scariest game you guys have ever played? If you can't tell, these are all spooky themed questions because that's all anyone wrote in, and we are very thankful for it. So if you want to write in more questions, go over to supergamerboys.com/discord and please send us questions because I think we're out of them. Also housekeeping, by the way, I guess I should have said this at the top of the show. I don't think we're doing a show next week because we're all busy on Halloween night. But I do plan on streaming. We might be doing a fun little, who knows, maybe a little Mario Party or something Monday night. So we will see. Anyways, what is the scariest game you guys have ever played?
Good grief. The absolute...
If you guys don't have anything, I know exactly what it is.
Go ahead.
It's PT 100%. And even though it's not even a full game, there is a gameplay experience called PT that is available to play, and holy crap.
Was available.
Unless you have other ways to play it, which maybe, you know, I've done it on stream recently, last year. You can watch it, actually. You can watch my playthrough, although halfway through, I think I hit a bug. It was kind of unfortunate, but oh my gosh, I know we say this every time it comes up. Such like, it's such a crappy situation over there that did not happen. Like, I'm so sad that didn't actually become a game, because just that little teaser was absolutely terrifying. Jumping out of my chair playing it, playing it with headphones, it is the most terrifying thing you'll ever play, in my opinion. All right, what do you guys got? Anything?
Oh boy, I'm trying to go back through the Rolodex because. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not a huge, obviously, like we already talked about, you know. But after thinking about it a little bit, I think a game that captures the horror elements without having to do anything corny to force a scare, but and this goes, I think, hand in hand with my love of the movie Alien, would be Bloodborne. I think Bloodborne captures the horror aspect of world building, of creature building, of just the way that they set the lighting in that game, without ever having to do anything to say, oh, this is going to ultimately scare you. So I think in thinking about it, obviously I've played some horror games. I've played some of like the campy, you know, stream horror games, or
right.
You know, but I think those ones are just like, you get scared the first couple times and then it's over. But the nice thing and the cool thing about Bloodborne, or even like a Last of Us, is that feeling of you don't know what's around the next corner, and that's part of the world building there that I think adds to a good horror game. But I wouldn't obviously say that's a horror game. I just think that the way that they've built that world it's pretty terrifying if you break it down, but
I mean, that's
Last of Us 1. I'd add Last of Us 1 too. Yeah, those clickers, dude.
Oh man, they just come out of nowhere. You don't expect it. So terrifying. Bloodborne's one of those I've always wanted to get into, and I'm just so bad at games. It's just too hard. But that's 100%, I would say. Well, it's considered like an eldritch horror, where it's like not straight up just like jump scares and stuff like that, but it is. It's just like such a horrific, disgusting world. It's like slowly degrading throughout the game and stuff like that. 100%. Adrian, do you have anything?
Yes. I had to dig out. So of the new series of or I guess the new arc that Resident Evil is going through, of the two of them, I would say that 7 is the scarier of the two as of right now. Yes. But 7 is taken to another level when you play it in VR. I don't know if you guys played it on PlayStation VR. I played the kitchen demo of it when the kitchen demo came out in VR. And then when you do that and you put the big headphones on and you turn the lights off, it's a whole different ball game, buddy. Whole different ball game.
Well, that's my stories. I played the first 4 hours of it, 4 or 5 hours, all in VR, and I remember taking the headset off and just being like, because I did it straight, like a maniac, and I put it down.
Tougher than me.
And I like just turned to my wife. I'm like, I think I'm done with the VR headset for a little bit. Yeah, I was just like, I think I'm done with that for a little bit. I like packed it up and I was like, let's just go for a walk or something. I need to like come back in the real world.
Just a short one. We don't have to go too far.
Yeah,
not where it's too dark.
Yeah. Oh man, absolutely terrifying. Have you touched PSVR at all, Nate?
Yeah, I owned it for 3 or 4 years. I ended up spending most of my time in VR playing games in bed. Like normal. Nice.
Yeah, they're using the theater mode. Yeah.
Yeah, I played all of Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, 15.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Yeah, that was when I lived in a studio apartment and with my wife, and she's trying to go to sleep. I was like the perfect little like TV because I just slap it on my head, and it's pitch black in the room, but I can keep playing the games. So good.
And you wouldn't interrupt her except for the sound of the PlayStation 4 in the background. It sounded like a jet engine.
The jet engine.
Except for your Southwest flight taking off. So
right.
All right. Well, that's it for questions this week. Thank you all for writing in. Remember, please submit your questions for our next show. We are empty. Mailbag is empty, so we're gonna need help with that.
If you know what's good for you.
Yeah. Don't make Adrian come out there. Oh boy. All right, it is now time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, this first news story comes to us from, gotta scroll back to the top of the page, Matt Kim over at IGN. And he writes, Silent Hill transmission, everything announced from today's big showcase. Konami is bringing back Silent Hill in a big way. As part of the new Silent Hill transmission, Konami announced multiple Silent Hill games and projects, including a full remake of Silent Hill 2. Read on to see everything that was announced. So here we go.
That's where you can stop. That's all everybody really cares about is the Silent Hill 2 remake.
I see that maybe everyone else, but to be honest, I am very interested in Silent Hill F, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So yes, obviously the biggest thing is the Silent Hill 2 remake, which from what I understand, I was kind of confessed my sin before the show to Adrian and Nate. I've never played any of the Silent Hill games. It's a series that has always interested me and I've always wanted to play, never had a chance to play. Obviously now I do because I'm a grown adult and I can just buy it and play it, but I have not made the time to play. But with this remake coming out, I'm stoked because from what I hear, this is like the favorite. Like Silent Hill, the first one was good, but 2 was better. Kind of like Resident Evil. The first one was good, and then Resident Evil 2 was better. I feel like it's kind of the same thing. So as rumored, Bloober Team is developing a full remake of Silent Hill 2 with the help of original Team Silent artist Masahiro Ito and composer Akira Yamaoka. The remake was announced for PlayStation 5. The remake, I think it's also coming to Steam as well, I saw. The remake will retell the story of James Sunderland, who is looking for his dead wife, who sent him a mysterious letter from the town of Silent Hill. Konami and Bloober are promising a fully reworked game using new technology and delivered in 4K. So yeah, obviously, internet was blowing up over this. Now, Adrian, I'm hoping you have some experience with Silent Hill. Have you played the original Silent Hill 2, or at least some of the earlier ones?
Of course.
Like, are you excited about this? Like, is there anything you're hoping they bring to this new remake? Having played the original one, you're like, oh man, like if they...
I wish they would have done both of them. Okay. I wish they would have done 1 and 2, because it's going to be weird for everybody jumping into 2.
Yeah, what's the deal with Resident Evil and then now Silent Hill, like skipping the first one and going right to the second one? It's like, we understand it's a fan favorite, but I mean, the first games are...
Resident Evil makes sense because they did remake that one. They remade it on GameCube. Well,
okay. Okay. I guess. That's like saying that Metal Gear Solid's also been remade on GameCube, Twin Snakes. And now let me tell you.
Have you seen Resident Evil 0?
No, I have not.
And the remake on GameCube?
No.
They hold up, dude.
Okay.
Go check it out.
I'll have to check it out. Because if it's anything like Twin Snakes, a Metal Gear Solid remake on GameCube.
No, it's not like bad. Twin Snakes.
That was so bad.
No, but that's most likely the reason why they didn't do that. Do a remake of it, because they already did one. If you're really that like hard pressed to go and find the original. But I don't know why they decided to skip 1. I feel like they should have done 1 first, because that is the gateway. Of course, 2 is better. I mean, that you would expect it to be in the sequel, but I don't know. I don't know what decisions I guess they figured because everybody remembers 2 more. Mm-hmm. Like you were saying, it's the fan favorite, so it's going to be able to sell more copies. But I honestly really think they should have done both. Like how they did RE2 and RE3 at the same time.
Right. Now, did the games kind of build off each other? Again, not really. I haven't playing it. Like, is it something where you actually should play the first one before playing 2, or are they kind of separate?
I mean, it's more of like getting you introduced and kind of into how these things work, right? Like it's, how should I put it? Not necessarily. They're more of an anthology, right? But the first one kind of helps you to, like I was saying, get into the mindset and get into this world and kind of understand what kind of horror that they're working with, and take it from there.
Okay, so if they did do a first one, it would basically more or less help you understand what's this world about, like what is happening in Silent, like almost like the mythos of Silent Hill, not necessarily helping with characters, but helping just like what is this place, essentially, something like that. Yeah,
in a sense. Now, 3, you do need to play the first one because there's things that happen in 3 that go back to 1.
Okay, interesting. So maybe they'll do
Those
something like that.
Those 2 are connected,
maybe,
but 2...
Maybe they'll do the second one and then maybe not remake the first one, but maybe add some of that gameplay from the story from the first one into the third one. Maybe they'll just kind of like smash them together into a game.
So 1 is its own thing, and then 2 is its own thing, and then 3 is a sequel to the first one. So 1 and 3 are connected. So I imagine if this takes off that they'll probably just double back and do the first one again. But I feel like they want to do this one first because this is the big dog. But I really think they should just start with the first one. But who am I?
Yeah.
You
know? Yeah, so I mean the trailer looks amazing. I'm super stoked to try it out. I'll most likely, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go back and play the originals, but honestly, like knowing this remake's coming out, it's like I'll just wait for this remake, at least to play 2. Like I might play the original, like the first one or the third one or something, but I'm not going to play the second one when I know this is coming hopefully soon.
I'm not going to lie. It made me go and like I went and looked in my PS2 drawer and I'm like, is it about that time? Because that remake's not going to come out for a while. I mean, I could do it for Spooky Gamer Boys too. So
you could do it.
Just throwing that out there.
The next announcement is Silent Hill Townfall. This is a new spin-off developed by No Code Studios, which I guess is known for Stories Untold, and published by Annapurna Interactive, which around these parts and Super Gamer Boys, we are all about Annapurna Interactive. Anything they make is just gold. So
it's a purchase. I don't even look at it.
It's just odd. Just insta buy. You have like your credit card set up to automatically just buy anything.
Annapurna for games, A24 for movies. I see those logos, I just consume it. Give it.
You're in. The new project will be a unique take on Silent Hill franchise from a highly decorated AA developer. So we don't really have no information on that. Trailer looks kind of neat for that. Silent Hill F. Now this is the one that I am extremely interested in because it's another spin-off set in 1960s Japan. This narrative-driven spin-off will be written by acclaimed Japanese writer Ryokishi07, who created visual novels like Higurashi and Umineko. The spin-off will juxtapose a beautiful and terrifying world and focus on the psychological supernatural mysteries of Silent Hill. Again, not knowing the world of Silent Hill at all, but seeing this trailer, it is both like beautiful and disturbing at the same time. Like, and that's, they say that exactly in this description. You're watching it, you're like, oh, okay, this is creepy, and then it's like, oh, it's like flowers and nice and pretty. Oh, and then like that girl's face just fell off. Like, what is happening here? Or like don't watch the trailer if you have, what is it called, trypophobia, like stuff with like the holes or whatever, or like
just
circles,
go straight to playing the game.
There's like a
where
scene
it's all over.
Yeah, there's like a scene in this trailer where it's like, oh man, like I don't even have trypophobia, and I was like triggered immediately. I'm like, I don't like that, but I gotta play this game. So yeah, check out that trailer. It looks crazy. And I don't know if all the Silent Hill games take place in Silent Hill, but to me, I think it's cool that this is like a different time period. It's in Japan. It's not in, the typical setting that you kind of associate necessarily. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about this one, even if no one else is. I am. And the last one,
I didn't say I wasn't excited. I'm just saying everybody was like, Silent Hill 2 was the big dog, right? It's like the
right.
Everybody is waiting for the Resident Evil 4 remake, but they had to talk about the stupid RE-verse thing type of deal.
Can you believe RE-verse still isn't out? That was supposed to come out like 2 years ago.
Why didn't they cancel it?
It was a pre-order bonus with 8, and like it was supposed to release day and date with 8.
They should have just
nothing hasn't come out. Absolutely bonkers that they're still trying to get that out. And real quick, this last announcement I didn't hear anything about until I looked at this article. Silent Hill Ascension. It says the most unique announcement from the transmission is an immersive project where participants around the world will control the characters in a new Silent Hill story. Basically, a Let's Play Pokemon version of new Silent Hill story that will be live on multiple platforms. I don't know what that means, but it does sound interesting. I'll give him that. But is it like a party controlled thing where everyone on the internet can like change things and do things? Are we talking about like Death Stranding, maybe, like altering the world and Death Stranding kind of thing? But it's
or didn't that one game, the people who made Until Dawn, didn't that have like a crowd play mode?
Oh,
maybe it's like that.
Okay, so it's almost like a Telltale game kind of thing, but where you're working, but where you're you're right. Cool. What was that game? It was part of that. It weird, was the like, sequel PlayStation. Was it a sequel? No, I don't think it was a sequel. It was made by them.
I mean, it was in that anthology. It was
right. But it was like some murder.
God. You know what I'm talking about, though.
It was part of that weird PlayStation collective where they had those like, so they came out with like 4 party games. One was like a trivia thing, and one was this game. That would be neat. So those are the main game announcements. They also talked about a third movie, which is crazy that they're even thinking of that, because the first 2 movies weren't great from what I hear. I want to ask Nate here. Nate has not spoken at all this whole segment because he has already made it clear he's not a horror guy. But having heard about some of these announcements, heard us talk about it, maybe seen a trailer here and there, I don't know. Are you interested at all in any of this, checking it out? Or you're like, no, I do not want to touch horror. I do not like spooky games. Like, is there anything here that interests you, Nate?
I think ultimately I'm interested in Silent Hill 2, the remake, because if that's the heavy hitter, I'm also just a sucker for buying new games, so I'll probably definitely check it out. But I don't really, nothing really about it draws to me. I also think there's like a negative like air around the franchise as a whole. So I don't know if I'm like super stoked or anything, but I was interested in the Resident Evil. Was that 5? 4?
The 4 remake, yeah.
Remake. That looks fantastic. So I played Resident Evil 4 originally, so I'm ready to play it again.
Okay. Yeah, so that's an article we don't have on our docket this week because I think that was pretty much the main thing they announced was the RE4 update. It's like real quick, but
this is the most gameplay that we've got to look at for it, and it looks phenomenal.
It does look good. And confession time again. I've never played RE4. I've played 2. I've played 3. I've played 5. That's right.
I've even played 5, but you haven't played 4. Nate, we're gonna tell me you played 6. You played the worst one, but you didn't play 4.
I did not play 6. So
I've played 6.
2, 3, 5, 7.
I'm sorry.
8.
I'm sorry about that, Nate.
Hey, is 6 the co-op one?
No, 5 is the co-op one.
5. Okay,
6 is the action movie one. That's
I loved 5 so much.
I like
5 was okay. 5 was not. It was not bad.
Like
I played it on Xbox 360 co-op with my a little bit my brother, mostly my dad. My dad and I would play it, and it was so much fun.
The thing about 5 is a good game. It just had the misfortune of coming after 4, which is like series peak. Almost.
Here's the thing I respect about Garrett. He doesn't play Silent Hill 2 because he's waiting for it to get better. He's waiting for the remake. He doesn't play Resident Evil 4. He's waiting for the remake. He's like, he's thinking ahead. He's
Don't
like,
bail him out. Don't bail him out.
They're not going to remake RE5.
Yeah.
He's like, this thing sucks. They're not remaking this ever. I'm playing it now. You know, Gotham Knights, get on it now. They're not going to remake it, people.
That was exactly.
You better believe they're not going to remake it.
That was exactly my mindset 10, 15 years ago. I was like, oh man, they're probably going to remake this in about 15 years, so I should just wait. So that's exactly.
I mean, if they're PlayStation, they might remake it next week, so you might be fine.
That's true. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so that's all the update on Silent Hill stuff. I'm stoked for it all. It all looks super cool, especially the remake there. Yeah, I hope we didn't get any release dates or even like release windows. So yeah, like Adrian said, it'll probably be at least a couple years out, I would think. Yeah. But we will see.
Which is fine.
Yeah, just take your time, make sure it's good. Unlike
I want to forget about it so that when it comes back, I'll be like, oh yeah, Silent Hill 2.
I forgot about that. Yeah, take your time, make sure it's good. Unlike this next news story we're going to be talking about, this is a review roundup for Gotham Knights. The review roundup I found was over here at GameSpot from Darren Bonthus. Yeah, so there's some reviews from various sites here just to kind of give you an idea without reading any summaries and stuff. GameSpot gave it a 4 out of 10. IGN 5 out of 10, GamesRadar 5 out of 10. Now there are some higher scores. VGC gave it an 8 out of 10. NME, I don't even know who that is, but they gave it an 8 out of 10. So it's a pretty wide range from like almost basically unplayable all the way up to oh, this is a good game to play. Like you should totally like at least give it a shot. It's fun. It's not a great game, but it's fun. We have someone here who has played this game and who knows more than us, and I want to hear from him. But real quick, I want to check it out because I haven't checked with Adrian. You have not played it, correct, Adrian?
I have not. I'm still in recovery from seeing the list come out and seeing the review score list come out. So hopefully Nate can aid with this. But
yeah,
this was one of the ones that, you know, when we initially saw it, it looked really interesting, and then every time we saw it after that, it just seemed like stuff was chipping away at it, like it was missing, and there wasn't a lot of improvements, and they kept delaying it, and we were like, what for? And then they dropped the 30 frames a second cap thing, and that just kind of like took all the wind out of people's sails. And then the review scores came out, and I'm like, this is what you wanted to do.
Now,
and it's been in development since like 2012.
Yeah, which is insane. Absolutely insane.
Right.
This is a game that revolves around like a Court of Owls storyline, correct? At least from the trailers. I was getting that. I couldn't remember because like it was like
it's
2 or 3 years ago.
Story.
I remember.
Yeah,
okay, because I remember like 2 or 3 years ago us doing like an episode about like that trailer or like it just images. They were releasing images. That's all it was. Like they're really cryptic, and eventually they revealed as Court of Owls or something. Okay, so you've all already you're come here to the podcast. You've probably already read all the reviews, so you know what all the big shots online have said. But you know what? We got another big shot here who's not online.
For the biggest. It's time for the
biggest shot.
Artillery.
Who hasn't received the WB payola?
Right, yeah. Exactly. This was not paid for by
code
Sony.
Provided by my bank account.
Yeah.
All right.
Code provided by Wells Fargo. No, go ahead and give us your thoughts. What are your kind of first? Tell us how long you've been playing it, and what do you think?
So, I think that to start, I'll kind of talk about the reason why I bought the game after the negativity, after the negative reviews, and even after the frame rate issues, which is actually kind of proves to be a large issue in the game itself. But I'll kind of get to that in a second. As far as history with the games go, I'm a huge, mega fan of the Arkham series as a whole. Obviously, what Rocksteady did.
All 2 of them, right?
Yeah, all 2 of them.
Yeah. Very funny. What Rocksteady did as a whole was, those games hit for me, especially the first 2. And then
they're making a new one?
When Warner Brothers Montreal released, which I believe, Warner Brothers Montreal is the one that made Gotham Knights. When they released,
they did Origins,
and
this one,
Knights.
Oh, and Knights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is even weirder. Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Oh wait, did you say? I thought you said Arkham Knight.
Yeah, they made both of them.
Oh,
they
right.
made Gotham Knights, and
they made Arkham Knight, or not Arkham Knight.
Yeah, it's the names.
Okay,
we're getting them. Yeah. Then they made the new one.
Oh my god.
And the Origins one.
Right.
The one
okay.
with Deathstroke.
Yes.
That's Origins.
They made that Origins. There we go.
Yeah.
They made Arkham Origins and Gotham Knights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I love Rocksteady. I love what they did. I wasn't a fan of Arkham City. I haven't been silent about that. I don't like the tank combat. I never liked it, and I never liked it. And
that's the third. That's the mythical third one. The demo that they put out.
Yeah, and to me, I think it's key to remember a couple things here when we talk about the Arkham games. Arkham Origins came out to mediocre reviews. Arkham City came out to good reviews, but from the fan base, a big mediocre reaction. And now...
Really?
I think you're confusing Arkham City and Arkham Knight, because there is an Arkham Knight's the third one, yeah.
You got it.
And that's why I got confused, because I thought you said Arkham Knight, but you said Gotham Knights. So yes, now we're on the same page.
Now we got triple confused. So the point I'm getting at the end of the day, is the last 2 came out to pretty negative reaction from either critics or the fans as a whole. Here we go. I'm going to say it right this time. Arkham City being for the Arkham Knight being for the tank combat. They need to get better about naming. Let's be real.
Yeah, seriously.
And Arkham
They make
Origins,
sense when you're not talking about all of them all together.
Yeah.
So
and Arkham Origins, obviously made by Warner Brothers Montreal. I loved that game. So when that game came out, and it had negative reviews, I actually recently watched the IGN review of it, and they were super down on it. And I remember having a really fantastic time with it. So this is how I based my decision. In my head, I'm going, the most recent one by Rocksteady, I wasn't a huge fan of. It had clunky tank combat. I didn't like the story. I felt like the story was super, super forced and cliche. And it was, for me, a frustrating end to what I felt could have been a perfect trilogy. Obviously, PC players had it even worse than I did on console, but so in my opinion, they couldn't mess this one up at all. This one had to come out and be a banger because they ended that Batman story. And here's how the downfall began for me.
Oh no.
Number one, this has nothing to do with the Arkham series at all. Doesn't have anything to do with their Arkham Origins game. It's a completely separate story, not in that world. So there's strike number one. Yep.
Do you think that was a choice, or do you think?
I think that was a retrospective choice, in my opinion. I think that was made.
I was gonna say, you think that was
year.
like a mandate from DC or something? Or
yeah, I think that was made
Rocksteady?
within the last year once they saw the product. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to get conspiracy theory here. And then the reviews came out, and now we've gotten to the point where, then obviously around the same time, we hear about the FPS cap. So I think in my head, I'm like, the product itself, what they showed to me looks interesting. And they have the key game saver. The one thing that can save an absolutely shitty game, and that is co-op. So I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna convince someone else to play it with me.
Not it.
Good luck.
Not it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sad to report I haven't. I'm gonna have to get close to gifting the game. I'm gonna need to.
No.
I'm sure Warner Brothers Montreal will gift the game to one of you guys. Because at this point they need.
I guess we could ask.
All right, I'll get into my review now. It was a long-winded setup. We could ask. They might.
What console are you playing on? We'll see.
I'm playing on Xbox Series X right now.
Isn't it crossplay?
I don't have an Xbox, so sorry.
I'm not sure if it's crossplay. I didn't look that up.
I'll look it up.
I will say right out the gate, I don't agree with IGN or GameSpot. I don't know in what world you could ever rate this a 4 out of 10. I think you're looking at that through the Arkham City and Arkham Asylum lens if you're going to rate this a 4 out of 10. It's in no way even remotely close to being that bad of a game. Is it a good game? I would also say no. I think it misses in so many ways that there's an easy way to hit, and they've chosen to not do that. And I think that's really frustrating for me. I think the characters you get to play as, Robin, Nightwing, what's his name, Red Hood, whatever, and Batgirl, are all the most boring versions of those characters they could possibly.
That's what I keep hearing.
It's also,
which is crazy.
I turned to my wife while playing the game the other day, and I said, I haven't seen a game this modern be so poorly represented in terms of like different cultures. It's so mind-boggling to me that this is how this game was built. And I've played it for 6 hours, and it's not gotten better. It's not changed. It's the same bland, boring characters throughout it. And for me, it's like artistically, the game's done amazingly, of course, because it's done by this studio. The costumes, especially the ones you unlock after those first ones, are amazing. The way you can like add transmogs to your gear in order to make it look doper. You can add colors, all that, super cool. And I think that would have been welcomed if on the other end of that, it's a gear-based system where I'm playing as Robin mostly, right? He's got his little freaking stick thing. Every single time I upgrade that, the look of it doesn't change. All that changes are a few stats. And when I change the stats, guess what happens to the enemies? The enemies also get harder. So what's the point of changing? Yeah. What's the point of changing if the enemies are just going to scale with me? It's almost like everything was an afterthought, or, and this is, I would say, the majority of the opinion, this game was built to be the, Avengers version for the DC. And by that I mean the Avengers video game. Yeah, exactly.
Dang.
And obviously I'm going to say the negative first because I think it's so glaring, and then I'll kind of talk about the positive. But There is no store for microtransactions at all in the game, so that's huge. These suits, like I said, the suits are amazing, and they're a treat to find them, and they're a treat to equip them and use them. But the second you get back to your main headquarters, you're not wearing your suit. And I have Robin, who's literally wearing like the most, like the headphones on the neck. Like the video game way of basically telling you like, this is a young punk kid. That's Robin. Robin just got the headphones on the neck. And if you think about the most boring outfits for each one, that's what they're wearing back at the main headquarters, where you're spending half the game. So you're not wearing your suits in half the game. It's
Which Robin is this?
This is let me confirm.
It's not Tim, right? Because Nightwing is there.
Yeah, Tim. Nightwing. Yeah, it's the newer Robin. He's basically only been Robin
Damian?
for a couple of weeks. Yep, Damian.
Yep.
So he's also got like a punk attitude, and so the writing for him is like, if you think about how could you make this be exactly what you have in your brain, that's what they did. They're like, all right, he's new, so he's going to be a punk a little bit, and he's not going to really understand what's going on. Oh, she's trying to fill Batman's shoes. Oh, Red Hood, he's like the grumpy bad guy / good guy. So every single one, and then Nightwing should be it. He should be the one that everybody wants
Batman
to play.
Jr.
He's so frustratingly dull, and they tried to do nothing to improve it. So, anyways, those are kind of my negative thoughts, and
jeez,
I would say most reviewers,
sad.
most reviewers are right there with me. But as far as getting into the game and the gameplay itself, this game is built like a co-op, grindy, really actually pretty open world Batman game, and I honestly think it could have hit. I think if they had gotten rid of the loot system, if they had launched it with the performance mode, because the under 30 FPS, and I'm not even going to give it the grace to say 30 FPS. This is well under.
Oh no!
Yikes!
Yeah,
Are you playing on a Series S or Series X?
Series X.
Okay.
Series X. And I read up on the PC performance, and people are having a hard time getting a 4K 60 on the brand new 4090. So,
which is insane.
This game is terribly optimized.
And they have the audacity to blame the X. Like, we gotta keep it. It has to work on an Xbox Series S.
Series
S. Dude, if it's not running on a 4090, there's something wrong with your end. Like,
it should be able. Series S should be able to run that game 1080 60, no problem. No problem.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
What's the deal? I was gonna ask Nate, do you think that the game is hampered because of the 30 FPS cap? Because it's such a combat-based game, and I feel like you need those frames for reaction time.
Actually in combat, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't bother me at all. The combat hasn't been affected. It's the traversal. And when you're getting under 30 FPS in traversal in a major open world like that, it feels slow. Everything feels slow. The bat bike feels slow, and the bat bike is dope. It looks cool. The audio in the game is amazing. Like I said, the visuals are great. I couldn't imagine anybody complaining about the visuals. This game, like, go just watch the reviews for any of the old Arkham games, and then watch this game's gameplay, and it's a huge step forward.
Digital Foundry was beating it up pretty good.
Yeah, but that's Digital Foundry, and they like pixel peep and like dig into like the crazy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. That's their job.
I think you get it on the 65-inch 4K TV, and you'll be feeling fine about it. You're not going to be frustrated about what you're getting. I'm not going to say it's not the best thing in the world, but Elden Ring released this year, and that thing looks
fair point.
Let's be real. That's going to be game of the year. It's my game of the year, and
you got a week and a half to make sure of that before what's it called comes out? Ragnarok?
Yeah.
You think that's going to dethrone it?
I'm so excited for Ragnarok.
I think so. I don't know. I think so. I think new ideas always kind of get a bump. So we'll see.
Fair. Sorry.
I wouldn't, like I said, this isn't a 4 out of 10. To me, a 4 out of 10 is borderline unplayable. These are reviewers who have loved the old games and look at it through those glasses. If you look at this as a purely cooperative superhero DC experience that has, and this is key, has the potential to be fixed in a lot of ways, then this game could easily be bumped to a 6 out of 10. And I even told you guys, in my opinion, it's a 7 out of 10. I'm having a blast. I think the combat is fun. I don't agree with people saying the combat isn't fun. The combat isn't the same as Batman. You're not doing the same exact things. It has to work in a cooperative environment. So I can't be having these quick time events over here while my buddy is just watching that happen. It just wouldn't work. So it's a little bit more fast paced. As you kind of level up more, the enemies do get more tough and you face more of them. But it's like the epitome of the idea of 1 step forward, 2 steps back. You get this cool sequence in the beginning, and it's not even a spoiler. They spoiled it from the get-go, where Batman dies. And it's a really cool sequence, and it's beautifully done. And then the first thing they do is they put you straight into the world, and you just have to stop a couple crimes. No reason why. You just have to go find crimes throughout the map.
Is that supposed to be like a tutorial or something?
Nope, that's it. You just
just
stop the crimes.
Go vent after the death of Batman.
If
you
want
beat up
to
some
do
thugs.
a tutorial, if you want to do a tutorial, they have it back at the headquarters, and it's like one of those, like I don't know if you guys played Cyberpunk, but in Cyberpunk you can like go to like a training grounds basically. And I remember the first time I played Cyberpunk, I'm like, this game is controlling terribly on my PC, and I'm in the training grounds, like I'm just like editing my settings. I wish I could have done that in Gotham Knights. I was just, man, like I said, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I think it is well worth it at a $40 price point. I paid $70. I was really looking for a new game. I love Robin. I've always loved Robin. You could find pictures of me on Facebook if you scroll way down from when I was a kid dressed up as Robin. So it's kind of good. It's like a dream come true to be able to, change his outfits, dance around the city, beat up some guys, and it's been a blast. But
you think it's worth a shot if it happens to fall off a truck? If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think it's worth a shot. I think it's worth more than a 4 out of 10 shot. I don't know where those people are coming from, but
I think it's what you were saying. They are comparing it to the Arkham experiences, but like you said, you can't do that because it's not a single player focused experience like Arkham was, and they had to change things in order to fit that new play style and that new combat. So I get it. At the same time, if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. So you gotta, like you were saying, you gotta call a spade, and it's unfortunate because I do think that this premise, like you were saying, has the potential to work, but they're not gonna rewrite the story, right? They can improve the gameplay, they can improve, anything graphically or frame rate wise, but all that doesn't matter if I don't care about why I'm playing the game. I'm not gonna pay $70 just to go in and for a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
If you're gonna try to tell me a Batman story, tell me a Batman story.
The Batman's, the story itself is predictable, but like I said, well produced. From the get-go, it's well produced. And it should be, like I said, when was Arkham Origins? 2012, 2013? Like, it should be well produced. It should look good. And it does those things. The things that it should check boxes on, it does well, but they find a way to do something in that. It just doesn't make any sense. They can find a way. Every step of the way, they find a way to make you go, why? Why would we? Why? Why do I have to build a new slingshot every time I get back from going out amongst the city to do really fun things like, go find a loot box from Batman before he died that he left you. And in order to get them, you have to jump through a couple gates within 6 seconds. Otherwise, you don't get the loot box. And then it's just like everything is like, this game could be simple. It could be, all right, you get your story beat. You have your headquarters. You get to upgrade your character and all that. I get to freaking wear my suit in the headquarters, please. It has a performance mode. And all you'd have to do from there is just push me through the story as whenever I feel like it. All right, cool. We had fun out there in the open world. Let's go fight a few bosses. Let's go fight a few iconic villains. All right, that was fun. Especially if you're not even worrying about the old Arkham stories. why aren't you just going all out with these villains? Like,
right.
why, I need to be able to fight all the big hitters. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. So it's a little frustrating. But that's all right.
Do they reintroduce the villains in this game? They do?
Yeah, but
they don't just assume that you know them?
The thing is, it's they do assume you know them, but they give them some setup. But you have to remember Batman's dead. So all the big hitters that Batman was fighting, if they're dead with Batman, then they're still dead here. So we're not getting the Joker. We're not getting, you know what I mean? Like anybody in his time frame. So
the Joker is dead in this game, even though it doesn't follow Arkham continuity.
In with the 6 hours I've played or whatever, all I've encountered Harley, and it's insinuated that he's been dead. But who knows? Maybe they'll throw him at the end as a big surprise. But
he's played dead before. He's played dead before. So.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they really want to tell like a really schlocky Batman story. If like at the final boss something happens where all four of them are there and they're getting ready to get taken out, and Batman shows up because Talia took his body and dug him up and took him to the Lazarus pit, and he was able to come back. And
100%. That's from the get-go, I think.
And Batman's the final boss where you have to like beat the Lazarus pit rage out of him. And he's like, "Thank you, you guys. I'm back. Let's go be a Bat family again."
Hey,
credits roll.
When you get it from your grandma on Christmas because you asked for the new Batman game and she accidentally got you the new Gotham Knights game and you play it, well, we could make a bet right now, and I'm gonna go in with you on that bet because he's 100% coming back. And the one reason why is, yeah, sure, you see his dead body, but you don't see him get buried. So that's all I got to say.
Right.
Dang. Oh boy. Well, thanks for sharing that, Nate. I don't.
Sorry for the bad news. I know.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, it sounds horrible, yet I'm also still so intrigued. Like, I really badly want to try it, even though I know it's bad. But I'm definitely not spending $70 on it. So hopefully, in like the next.
I mean, there's a way to. I'm just throwing that out there.
If it does fall off the truck, I 100% recommend giving it a try, especially with some buds. I think if you blow through the story and just have fun with it and don't expect it to be anything like you wanted it to be, if you expected it to be just a fun beat 'em up action game where you get to play some cool characters, then you'll have a blast. And that's how I'm looking at it. And that's why I'm kind of in the 6 to 7 range.
Okay.
And I did look it up. There's no crossplay at the moment. It doesn't sound like they're going to add it.
That's
but
throw the whole game away now.
So
no,
sorry,
that's not. Adrian, that's not a problem for us. We got the Xboxes, so
no.
Fair point.
No. So. Adrian sold his.
I can buy it on the Xbox store. It's on the PC.
Is it play anywhere though? You never know.
I believe.
I don't know. Not all games are. I found that out the hard way. I forget what it was. Like a couple weeks ago, I looked something up, and I'm like, "Oh, wait, it's different than the Xbox. Like you couldn't play it crossplay."
Yeah, Nate, I sold my Xbox. I didn't play anything on it.
Crazy.
How's that?
I had it since 2020, and
what do you think Uncle Phil would say about that?
What do you mean? I think he would say, "Well, son, if you're not using it, give it to somebody who can, or sell it to somebody who can." I'd rather sit here.
I'm too busy focusing on this Activision deal to care about Halo Infinite dying. So I'll just you do whatever you want.
Pretty much, yeah. He's like, I'm busy trying to, make sure we get Call of Duty on Game Pass. I honestly don't care, kid.
In 6 years, maybe.
Yeah. He's like, I don't care if you sell it. You can play it on your fridge later. So don't worry about it.
Right. Pretty much. Yeah. Just don't lose that Game Pass subscription. I don't care what else.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nate, for sharing that review. So you heard it here first. The biggest name in video game reviews, Nate Fletcher, gave his his review of Gotham Knights, and he's looking for a friend to play it with. So maybe he'll gift it to you. Reach out to him on Twitter. Maybe he'll gift you a copy. No. All right, well, let's get into this last news story here, just real quick, because obviously, no one enjoys the drama, but at the same time, we all kind of enjoy the drama a little bit. Let's be honest. We talked about it last week. Actually, Adrian and JD talked about it last week, but there's the whole Bayonetta 3 voice actor controversy going on right now. And end of last week, there was an update where Platinum Games came out with a tweet saying, "We at Platinum Games offer our sincerest appreciation to everyone who has contributed to creating the Bayonetta series over the years, as well as a community that has served as its foundation. We give our full support to Jennifer Hale as the new Bayonetta and align with everything in her statement. We ask people to please refrain from any further comments that would disrespect Jennifer or any of the other contributors to the series." Because there's a lot of hate after Hellena Taylor's videos, tweets, whatever. Immediately it was attacking Platinum, attacking the game developers who work there, attacking Jennifer Hale. It's pretty horrible.
That part is crazy because Jennifer apparently had no idea what was going on.
Yeah,
with the whole Hellena Taylor, they just offered her a role and she took it.
Yeah, and why would she know what's going on? Like, it's not her business to know what's going on. She's a voice
that's
actor.
Between
like, hey,
Hellena and Platinum, who had an NDA apparently and was just like, forget it.
Yeah. The fact that there's an NDA and Hellena Taylor, the original voice actor, still came out and made the statement she did, which I guess I don't know. Like, if it was the truth, that's I don't know. Is it worth breaking an NDA over? Yeah. But now we're starting to find out that maybe everything she said wasn't quite up to snuff. So there's a new update, even as of today. Original Bayonetta actress releases new statement to defend myself and my reputation. That's a quote from her. This is articles from Anthony Wood over at IGN. Former Bayonetta voice actor Hellena Taylor has taken to Twitter to defend herself against claims that she is a liar and gold digger in relation to an ongoing controversy surrounding Bayonetta 3 regarding payment for reprising her role as the titular character. Last weekend, Taylor took to Twitter to vent frustration at allegedly being offered just $4,000 to voice Bayonetta in the upcoming game. Following this, articles from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier and VGC's Andy Robinson, which cited multiple sources and documentation that contradicted Taylor's account that she was offered only $4,000 to reprise her role as Bayonetta. Today, the report suggests that Platinum Games had attempted to hire Taylor for up to 5 4-hour sessions, paying between $3,000 to $4,000 a sitting, and the total fee would have amounted to roughly $15,000, which was significantly more than Taylor had been paid for previous titles, according to VGC. Taylor had reportedly turned this offer down and sought a 6-figure sum and residual payments in exchange for her involvement with the project. In a series of tweets, Taylor stated that the initial offer from Platinum Games, which she rejected, would have only amounted to $10,000 in total, and that following her correspondence with Hideki Kamiya, she was offered an additional $5,000. Taylor said she declined. 11 months later, that's when she was offered the $4,000 as a flat fee. So basically reports have come out. She was offered a lot more and didn't take it. Not as much as she wanted, apparently, but
I too want to make a 6-figure salary for every project I do for work. So.
Right. Yeah. If I did, 4 hours, if I did 20 hours of work, I would have loved to have been paid 6 figures as well. That'd be fantastic. Like, work a part-time job and get paid.
In fact, I'm going to tweet at my company right now. Might as well.
Yeah. Right.
Make it happen.
She claims that there were not extensive negotiations. I've been informed ridiculous fiction such as I asked for $250,000. I'm a team player. I was just asking for a fair living wage in line with the value that I bring to this game. She goes on and on, but I don't know. This whole thing is,
you know what? You won't give me $250?
crazy.
Okay, I'm a team player. How about half? Huh?
Right?
Just a cool $125 and we'll call it a day.
I don't know what to make of this other than I originally was like on her side, like, oh yeah, like stick it to him.
We all
like,
were.
It's horrible. And then so quickly, like the table turned. It's like, oh my gosh, like she is off her rocker. I don't know. Like, I don't know who to believe. I mean, obviously there could be some truth to what she said. And there's obviously truth on the other side because there's proof, Jason Schreier and
I was going to say, Jason,
what's his name? And Andy Robinson.
They have no reason. It doesn't benefit them to lie. So
right. So it's, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Adrian? I know you probably shared some thoughts last week, but with this new development, how do you feel about this?
Well, I mean, this is the good thing, right? This is a good thing about, updates on stuff and journalism and getting more information, because now you can form a new opinion based on what you know. And Originally, I was with Hellena. I was like, yeah, if you're getting screwed over, man, forget those guys. You know, they deserve everything coming to them. And sure enough, when the article started coming out, and then when she corroborated them and saying, actually, yeah, that was the amount, that's when everything that she was going to say after that kind of went out the window.
Yeah.
So the Jason article basically said that she did get the original 10,000, and then they bumped it to 15, right? Because it was 3,000 pretty much for 5 sessions minimum. But after that, they came back when she didn't want to do it a year later and offered her $4,000 as a cameo role. It wasn't for the whole game. It was just for a few lines.
Right.
So for her to phrase that as the final offer for the whole game was only $4,000 was absolutely she either misheard the situation or it's a lie of omission, which is not okay when you're talking about pay disputes for things like that.
And when you're like active, like the whole goal of this whole thing was calling them out online, and it's just like trying to just destroy their name, basically. I mean, she literally says like, let's boycott this game. The fact that she was like trying to rally people behind this lie, it's just so horrible. So
and if she'd come out and said they were going to pay me only 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever it was, I think people would still go, man, she's underpaid. But it's
right,
the fact that she
absolutely.
came out, it's the fact that she came out with, like you said, the lie of omission. And it put me, honestly, it put me automatically into the defense, because I was like, really? Like, only? Because that's like so low. It's to the point where you're like, man, that's criminal almost how low that is.
Yeah,
so,
right.
but then as it comes out more, and they're like, I mean, we have receipts, we have like contract offers here, so we'll just show you those. And as it comes out more, it's like, it's unfortunate, because the conversation should never have been boycott. It should have been, hey, I just wanted to be transparent about how low myself as a voice actor is paid. And you could do that at the $15,000 level, and all of us would still go, yeah, dang, that is really low for you're the main character. You should be paid more.
Right.
And instead, it's now to the point where it's like, I hope she gets a job. Like,
yeah, if she was as truthful from the start, and then like exactly that, like less out for blood and more just like, hey, let's spread awareness, and like, hey, this is the state of like voice acting, at least with my situation specifically. Oh man, so many people would have been on her side and still on her side, and it would have been maybe a better conversation in the space. But yeah, the fact that's like, oh, I'm gonna come out and lie about this, and then like double down on it. We're all like, oh, wow, what is happening?
That was you guys are exactly right. That was the problem. Is we all agree that it was still pretty low, especially for you being a main character who's going to have to voice the entire game, which means you'll probably have more lines than anybody else. And it's the third game, which means that every time that there's a new game, you should be renegotiating your contract. But at the same time, they're not going to pay you $100 grand, homie. They're not going to do it, right? Yeah. Like, okay, they had you at 15. I can maybe see them like a ceiling. I would probably say about 50. I think that would probably be the highest that they could go, realistically. And that's pretty good money. Like, I wish I could give $50K for that.
I mean, me not having any knowledge at all of what voice actors get paid, in my whatever stupid opinion, that doesn't matter. Like, I would say the same thing. Maybe even 50,000 is low, but to me, it's like, that seems like a lot of money for like a 20-hour gig. Like, to do 20 hours of work and get paid 50 grand, that seems pretty good. Like, I don't know.
Well, I only say that because usually they don't offer residuals. So you know how
she was asking for that too. Yeah,
right. But usually they don't do that kind of stuff. So the deals usually go like, we'll give you this lump sum up front, or we'll give you less, and then you get the residuals on the back end. But since there's no residuals, that's why I was like, okay, we'll give her a little bit of a higher number. We'll give her like the 50, Yeah. But
I wonder if, I don't know. I'm just trying to speculate, like, what was going through her head to kind of cause all this. The only thing I can think of is I wonder if she's just assuming, hey, this could be the last game in this trilogy, and I just want to milk it for all it's worth, and it's kind of like one last shot to see like what she could do. And unfortunately, it's failed. Or I don't know. Fortunately for us, unfortunately for her, maybe it's failed horribly. But I don't know. I mean, it's so crazy.
I'd also put the ball in Platinum's court too, because I'm pretty sure even on pre-orders alone, I would be very surprised if they haven't at least made a few 100,000 already, just off of pre-orders alone. And that's not day one sales. I mean, that's not all that, right? So
even though this isn't like such a huge, like this game doesn't have a massive fan base, it's such a highly anticipated game. Like people have been waiting on Bayonetta 3 for so long, and so I think from that alone, like even like I when they first announced it, whenever it was. The release date.
The Game Awards 2018?
Well, not when they first announced it.
2017.
When we finally heard when the release date was, which I think was just this year, right?
Oh, okay.
Earlier this year.
Yeah.
I remember like talking with you about it and me like, oh, should I get in the franchise? Should I play the first two? Should I just jump into the third one? And I think you kind of recommend at least playing the first one if possible and stuff like that. But I wonder how many people so many people who don't even know the franchise like myself are like, oh man, I'm gonna drop it on the third one because why not? It's on the Switch. Everyone has a Switch. Everyone wants to play this game. So it's definitely gonna be a lot of cash flowing on this game. And it's just unfortunate that she felt, on one hand, it's like, okay, yeah, she's been the voice actor for all three games. Like maybe she definitely deserved a pay bump, but she got a little greedy. She flew a little too close to the sun, I feel like, on this one, and tried to make out like a bandit, and instead she's making out with no more career, maybe.
So
very, very unfortunate situation. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be more updates in the weeks to come. Who knows if we'll talk about it
because
again.
she's not backing down. She is like doubling down, saying that Platinum is lying. You know what I mean? Yeah, just pretty much digging her own grave. Like you're going up against the word of number one, a really big game developer, right? Well, I say a good sized game developer. And you're also going up against two accomplished journalists who are going to keep digging at this story.
They will not
have
stop.
A network of sources. They're going to find out the truth. And you better hope that it's what you're saying. Because if it's not, you'll probably never have a voice acting gig again. You better go on back to the theater.
Yeah.
So
crazy stuff. But all right, well, that's it I got for that. Unless you guys have anything else you want to add real quick. And if not,
pay your voice actors better.
Yes. Just pay everyone
regardless
better.
Of this situation. Overall, they deserve more.
Heck yeah. All right. It is now time for our Patreon ad. And this is the part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboy. Support us over there. You can support us for just $1 a month. Get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show, such as Super Gamer Book Club, even Super Dungeon Boys, our D&D podcast that we're releasing throughout the month of October. I think there's going to be, I'm almost done editing it. I think there's going to be 6 episodes total. So actually go into November a little bit for you guys. A little extended Spooky Gamer Boys content for you. And $1 a month that helps support the show here and get you some fun shows early. $5 a month, you get the show notes ahead of time so you can see what we're going to talk about. Leave your own questions, comments, concerns right on the doc so I can see it when we're doing the show. Answer those questions. If you have thoughts on the news articles we're talking about, leave them there. And then we can share them to the world. $10 a month, you can be a Patreon sponsor where you get shout outs on the show, and the big dog Patreon producer tier, $15 a month. You can be our boss. You can pitch segments. You can, be in on coming up with ideas for shows, and just be a generally awesome person for supporting us that much. It's crazy. I'm so thankful for all of our Patreon supporters. So thankful and it's been so much fun. Yeah, with Eddie Martin, Kajoma. I haven't really interacted much with Bumble Smash. I need to hook up with him. I feel like,
check on him. See how he's doing.
They've been a producer.
We haven't heard from him in a minute.
Yeah, they've been a producer for a while, and I feel like we haven't heard from him in a bit. But thank you all so much who support us. We appreciate it. Excuse me. And another way you can support us, if you're watching here live at twitch.tv/TheSuperGamerBoys, you can subscribe for free. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link that to your Twitch account and use your Prime gaming sub each and every month. You have to remember to do it. If you do it once, it doesn't re-up every month. So please remember to go do that. Costs you $0. We get $5 and it helps the channel a ton. Also, the last way you can support us, and I'm glad JJ's not here because, otherwise this ad segment
I'm going to just let you have it tonight because we went crazy last week.
I was editing last week's episode. The ad segment was 10 minutes long because you guys went on for like 8 minutes about Dubby and all the things that...
Isn't that what you wanted us to do?
Doesn't do.
Fearless leader?
No, it's great. It's great. It's great. I just all the more reason to support us on Patreon, so you don't have to listen to 10 minutes of ads. I mean, it's hilarious, but also just absolutely bonkers crazy. W.GG, you can go over there and use our code SGB to get 10% off your order. I'm drinking some right now. That Galaxy Grenade. I love that stuff. You get that good energy without the crash as a neurofactor in there to help your mind fire on all cylinders, all the synapses just working overtime. And generally a very fantastic drink. Not chalky, not too powdery, good flavors. So I highly recommend. So go do that to help support the channel over at w.gg. All right, that is all I got for the ads. Now let's get back to the show. Start with you since you're the guest. Although, if all of you have been playing as Gotham Knights, then I guess you've already gone. But have you played anything else?
I started the Modern Warfare 2 campaign.
Is that out?
Days ago. Yeah, if you pre-order the game, you get the campaign a week early. So it's out.
Okay, thoughts?
I'm not ready to give them yet, but it has like this vibe of like a military shooter. So
that's good to hear.
It's a military shooter. I don't know, like
okay.
It's a 7-hour military shooter campaign. I don't know.
Right.
It's good. It's fun. You are not going to go wrong with it. I guarantee you that.
Okay.
I'm playing that, and like I said, played Quiplash the other night, and playing all the normal stuff I normally play. I'm playing a lot of Destiny 2 right now.
Okay.
Madden, 2K, all the boring, games as a service type games. I always got those going in the background. But,
nice.
It's nice to actually get some real AAA stuff coming up here, because ultimately, and obviously I play indies, but when I love an indie, I love it, and I play it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it hasn't really happened for me in a while this year. I have to ask Adrian for a little bit of help there, but. I haven't been on in a while, but I did really like, and this is not really technically an indie, but I did really like Cult of the Lamb. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, baby.
So before we did the show today, is a winner. Yeah, before we did started the show today, I was watching a buddy of mine, some friends who are actually one of our sister podcasts on our network, Super Best Friend Video Game Podcast. Is that what it's called? It's a really long name. Their show is on hiatus, but they still stream games, and they were over there playing Cult of Lamb, and they named a character after me, which is awesome. And
I did my whole family, and it was tragic. It got tragic real quick.
Oh my gosh!
When you had to sacrifice them,
the game looks bonkers. I had not seen any gameplay. I remember when it came out, everyone was like going on and on about how amazing it was, but I hadn't read anything or looked into anything, and I was like, I might need to try this game. This looks pretty interesting. So
it's rad. I can attest to that. Nate, can I offer you? I don't know if you played it already. Have you played Tunic?
That's Are You a Little Fox?
Mm-hmm.
I started that. I need to play it more. It's on Game Pass, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to play it more. Yeah.
Go for it. You want to go, Garrett, or you want me to go?
No. You go. What have you been playing?
Okay. Like we were talking about a little bit ago, I rolled credits again for the umpteenth time on Luigi's Mansion, getting ready for a book club. God, I honestly lost track of how many times I've played and beaten that game over. What was it, like 20 21 years now since it's come out.
Really? Is it that? Yeah, it's been around a while, huh? Let me look.
Yeah, it was
2001, 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
This was the first time I played it on 3DS, and I gotta say it was for realizing that it was on 3DS. It was a heck of a job that they did, remaking that game, because it's if you look close, you can tell that certain effects are missing here and there, or certain visual flares that only console class hardware could manage are missing, of course. But if you take it all for its own experience, they did a bumper job recreating Luigi's Mansion. I think anybody would be comfortable experiencing that game for the first time on that hardware. So
I'm so
kudos
jealous
to that team
of Connor. He's playing it on a GameCube, actual GameCube hardware, and I'm like, oh man, that must be so wonderful just to hold an actual GameCube controller in your hand, play it in that original state. I played on 3DS as well, and it we'll talk more about it obviously on Book Club, but you have to subscribe on Patreon to hear. But yeah, It was like you could very much tell okay, it's like 90 6% there. There's those few things that you kind of feel. You're like, oh, okay, it's a handheld. It's a 3DS, not as powerful as a GameCube.
Right. And then, of course, I was talking about it last week. I don't know if you weren't here for it, but I am playing another game, another indie called Akane, which is a cyberpunk. I wouldn't say beat 'em up, more like slash 'em up. You play as a enhanced cyber ninja assassin who is tasked with she's trained in a dojo pretty much her entire life to become a master samurai and assassin to take out as many yakuza as possible. So it's a roguelike in the sense that you get one life and you have to make it as far as you can and kill as many people or as many yakuza as you can in order to advance in the game. And you get different upgrades, so you get new swords, you get new guns, you get new shoes for movement techniques and things like that. It's beautiful. The sprite art is gorgeous in it. It plays really well, it really tight controls. Soundtrack is banging, and it's only $5.
What?
It's only $5. Yes.
Indie games are the
and
best.
It was just on sale for $2, but even still, it's absolutely worth. I don't know how they're getting away charging that little for that game, but definitely check it out. It's called Akane, Akane. You heard it from me.
Dang, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely have to look that up and add it to the wish list for when I have some time to play. Yeah, for me, like I said, finished Luigi's Mansion, but my big dog announcement for the very first time, I got my
that's right,
my little play day. Oh, what's that?
Welcome to the you got some
new games. I haven't even turned it on today.
Right, it's
Monday. So this is my little play date, buddy, and let me tell you, it's so much fun. So I initially only had the 2 games on. There's a little crank, which is
welcome to the fold, brother.
Yeah, thank you. It started out with
you probably had Casual Birder and Casual Wipeout.
Yeah. Whitewater Wipeout, extremely hard. So hard. So it's a surfing game where you're going up and down these waves, the waves coming at you, so you're trying to gain speed so you don't die, but you also need to do spins and tricks to gain points. And trying to get it just right with that crank, getting that speed. Whew, it's tough. I'm sure with practice, you kind of get muscle memory and figure it out, but it's really tricky. But Casual Birder, I was really enjoying, and immediately I was like, oh, this is Toem, but with birds. Had you ever played Toem?
In a sense, yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's not exactly the same. I shouldn't say it is Toem. It is a very similar type idea where you're taking pictures of things and kind of I like the sense of humor in Casual Birder so far. Kind of just
it rules.
Kind of silly and
I talk to the devs from time to time, so and you can tell they're really proud of what they made. One of them actually follows me, the one who did the soundtrack, which is a banger, awesome. By the way.
Oh yeah, I've been loving the sound. I mean, because everything's like kind of like 8-bit chiptune type stuff on the play date, but it still sounds so good. Even though it's like it's a mono speaker too. It just has the one speaker. Yeah. It's not like a stereo kind of setup.
It's capable of full on like.
But yeah, because it has a headphone jack at the bottom, right? So you could do stereo output. I've been really enjoying this thing. It's like one of those things where immediately I was like, okay, this definitely isn't a daily driver. Like this is not something I'm going to be like playing all the time. And because I mean, obviously not, because they're not coming out with games all the time like they are on Steam and on PlayStation and Xbox, stuff like that. But man, just like those times where I was like, I just want to chill and play something small and I don't want to have to like think super hard. At least now, like I said, I have 22 more games in this season, so there might be something that's a little more hardcore, but I've been enjoying how just like lighthearted and just laid back these games are, and it's just so small, like it's so tiny, it just fits in your pocket.
I'm on the other side of that fence, good buddy. I know exactly what you got coming, so you're at the tip of the iceberg. So go check it out. The play date is fantastic, and I think you'd still order them, right? That's how they did it, because it was around that time where pre-orders were happening for other consoles, and it's like, oh, sorry, sold out. And Playdate's like, they'll never sell out. Pre-order as many as you want, and we'll make as many as you want. It's like, all right, cool. You might not get it until 2024, but you can pre-order it. I think they're coming up soon on the status to where if you order one, they'll just be able to ship it straight out. I think they're on. Yeah,
I was in group 3, and they're halfway through group 3, and I think there's group 4 still. So hypothetically by the end of the year they should be caught up, I think is how it's
right to where when you order one, they'll just ship it out. So
yeah, awesome.
Yeah, fantastic product.
I love it so far, so hopefully we'll be able to talk more about it as the show goes. I know you guys heard Adrian talk about it before, but now it's cool because two of us can actually talk about it. It's not just Adrian being like, hey, I play this game, and the rest of us being like, okay, whatever. Like, hey, that sounds cool. Now we can actually have some fun discussions, and I want to figure out how to like stream it, because isn't there a way to stream it or something like that? That'd be kind of cool.
There's a desktop app.
Legit.
I'll walk you through it.
Heck yeah. Thank you. All right. Well, that's it for this week. That's all I got. So thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate it so much. Each and every week, we know you have plenty of other things you could be watching, listening to. So the fact that you take time to download our show and tune in, we appreciate it. We also appreciate all of those who support us at patreon.com/supergamerboys. Because again, you have lots of other places to spend money. So if you're willing to help us out that way, we very, very much appreciate it. And if you're interested in getting those episodes early and ad free, go ahead and check it out. If you're interested in just helping us out, go ahead and check that out. Patreon.com/supergamerboys and sgbstore.com, where you can get some merch. We got t-shirts, we got mugs, we got stickers, some fun little knickknacks to help spread the good word of Super Gamer Boys to your friends. W.GG, remember you can use code SGB over there. And shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. Remember, go give them a listen on Spotify and Apple Music. Links to the Spotify are in the show description below. You can find us during the week at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I am on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can they find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy, HOLMBOI.
And Nate, do you have any social media you'd like to shout out to get some?
You can find me on LinkedIn. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
You can find me on Twitter. Twitter at Boba Fletch if you want to see me tweet about the Packers and video games. Exclusively only those things always.
I know. For a long time ago, I turned on tweet notifications for you. And for some reason, or maybe it was like an automatic thing, I don't remember. But I started getting notifications, and for a while I felt like I didn't get very many notifications. And like the last 2 months,
the Packer season started.
Right, yeah. So like every Sunday,
so it's not like, just me, because I see every like 5 minutes it's just go Pack go, go Pack go. Oh, we'll get him next time. Go Pack go, go Pack go.
You didn't have to. All right, we know. All right, thanks everybody for being here. So have a good week.
It's okay. It's great. It's great. Go give them a follow on Twitter. It's good stuff. Good quality Packers content over there. All right. Well, that is all I got for this week. Adrian, why don't you take us out here?
Sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for another episode of Super Gamer Boys. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again to Nate for stopping by, being our... Is he even a guest at this point? I feel like he's family. You know what I mean?
He's family. This
We're
is
just friends of the show, just stopping by at this point.
I'm the normal uncle that wears like a quarter zip, and JJ's like the other uncle. You know the one I'm talking about.
Oh, I know the exact one you're talking about.
Yikes.
Thanks so much for me. That's Adrian, the homeboy Holmes. For Garrett, what should I say? What would JJ say in this moment?
Something very inappropriate, probably.
We'll just do your gorgeous Garrett Morlang.
Can you do it in post, like a beep sound?
I'm just gonna beep out whatever you say, Adrian.
I just want to say thanks to Garrett for. All right, that was good.
There we go.
That's where it needs to be.
And for the Gotham Knight, Mr. Nate Fletcher, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.
Okay.
Hashtag JJ sucks.
I gotta go find that truck so I can get a copy of Gotham Knights.
We didn't do enough JJ slander.
That's okay. He knows what it is.
Can we do an ad break?
Ad break right and now.
Yeah, JJ sucks. So if you want to learn more about JJ Sucks, go to jjsucks.com/yes he does.
Go to w.gg/JJ